Hello, good evening, and welcome back. So there were many victims of the COVID lockdown, and one is Steve Visano. And you might be thinking, well, hey, isn't he kind of a jet tycoon and high baller, and we shouldn't really care about him given that he's successful? But I would argue not, simply because it is only these types that would make the news. And so, of course, there are others that are in a similar predicament to him. However, we have to use him as a case study in order to identify who is one of us regular folk that are affected in a similar manner. So, by all means, you might not have any sympathy for him, as he is a jet-setting tycoon, but nonetheless, despite being 64 years of age and trying to surprise his girlfriend with a surprise party, given that the police respond to this, we of course know what else they respond to. So it is important as a case study as how they would respond to any other COVID exemptions or any thoughts of somebody breaching the coronavirus rules. Given that, of course, in this, as we will read on, there was no COVID lockdown breach whatsoever. But what is the story? Well, from the Mail Online, 10 cops raid socialite's COVID-secure Zoom birthday party after a passing busybody spots guests through a window that were actually cardboard cutouts. Yep, and apparently they've got about half a dozen reports from people taking the bus through Mayfair and then seeing what is essentially a Home Alone remake and then calling the police on that. Because, as I say, Steve Visano thought, well, hey, I can't really be there in person, and of course our friends can't be there in person. However, in an attempt to be romantic, he recreated 70 friends as cardboard cutouts with their own images and screens, as of course, as I say, jet-setting tycoon, he's a rich chap, lucky him, good on him, that he wished to be able to wish his significant other a happy birthday in person, but of course could not do so, and therefore recreated Home Alone in order to wish her happy birthday through cardboard cutouts and screens instead. And it was successful, and naturally she did appreciate the gesture, as who wouldn't? That is a very nice thing to do, given the circumstances there, that you can't invite people around for a surprise birthday. So, although being a little bit uncanny valley, thankfully it was appreciated, but I guess money talks. So, well done to him. Good job. However, busybodies, as they say, Karens, if you will, didn't really appreciate this. And, seeing as they were on a bus route, there were passengers on that bus who thought, we're going through Mayfair, and I don't really appreciate the rich people, so what better way to show my indignation with the fact that they've provided value for other people than try and get them imprisoned? And obviously, the laws are a problem, and of course, everybody who voted for Conservatives are being let down, to put it mildly, for this crackdown on individual freedom, and I do not downplay that whatsoever. However, you have also got to take into consideration the useful idiots, such as the half dozen people that decided to call the police because they thought somebody was having fun. Yes, this has really gotten that Puritan that, hey, police, from the emergency services, how can we help? I see some people in Mayfair having fun. Oh my god, what's their address? We must crack down on this immediately. That is how I imagine the conversation went. And it wasn't like they were buying them off or lobbying or breaking the law and expecting one law for them and another for others. No, not at all. Instead, they actually followed these draconian laws, and yet wasted police time because of it. Were any arrests made? No. Thankfully not. It wasn't seen as a provocation or misleading the course of justice. Thankfully. However, none of the cunts who called the police have been prosecuted either. And although it's not a crime, of course, to report what you think is a crime based on the COVID lockdown rules, I think more should be done in calling them out as utter tosspots. And that is precisely why I'm focusing on them in this video. Because we must of course take note that it is down to an individual to determine what level of risk they are wishing to take. And if you're taking the bus, public transport, then you of course have your own risk tolerance of which you're willing to take. And if you believe that the masks are infallible and you have absolutely no bloody chance whatsoever of catching the virus, then you definitely need to read more. But of course, that would mean listening to different points of view. And therefore you would not be listening to this video. That is definitely safe to say. But it is a good point for the rest of us to try and enact that mentality that, of course, if you're seeing somebody hurt, then it is your role as a moral civilian, as a moral person, to intervene in one way or another in order to assist them, whether that be domestic violence of a man to a woman or a woman to a man, or whatever it might be. Then your moral requirement is to call for help. However, when it comes down to impeding an individual's sense of freedom, that is for you to stay the fuck away. And I doubt I really need to explain the difference between the two examples, as I am sure that you know the difference. But for everybody else, let us just recap. If you witness physical harm being done from one person to another, as in hitting, punching, stabbing, kicking, shooting, then do something about it, whether that be putting yourself in harm's way if you're feeling particularly brave, or calling in authorities to do something about it. If, however, you see people keeping themselves to themselves and enacting what is, by all accounts, a purely consensual agreements, then you stay the fuck alone. Consent is what it comes down to. If there is consent, you stay away. If there is not consent, then by all means help out the victim. Because of course, we do not wish to encourage villains or criminals getting away with their criminal acts. That is not what we're suggesting whatsoever. We are instead suggesting, if people wish to get up to things in their own time, then you bloody well leave them alone to do it. However distasteful or harmful you think that may be, because nobody understands somebody as well as they do. And I'm not going to suggest what Steve Asano's views are, of course. If he's a jet-setting tycoon, chances are he likes to keep his money, in which case he's a little bit more right-wing, so it is not a case of hypocrisy. If it so happens to go down the route of lobbying, then of course there is hypocrisy for suggesting that a bigger government is ever a good idea. But, as I stated at the start, this is instead used as a case study for so many other people that do not have the publicity in order to make it public. And instead, we focus on Steve in order to prove the point. So, what was it exactly? Well, as I say, it was cardboard cutouts. As Oscar Wilde said, uncertainty is the essence of romance. And Mr. Vasana here really took that to heart, as he decided that his significant other would greatly appreciate having the birthday well wishes from her friends and family and all that good stuff. And that is what he tried to accrue for her. Could not be done physically, in which case it gave greater opportunities for it to be done virtually of people who might have had other stuff on and didn't really wish to have to spend money on a flight in order to get to her property. So in a way, it was better in order for her to get more people giving her well wishes. Not as sincere necessarily, but nonetheless, quantity over quality, I suppose. So the response was not just one police officer turning up on the door and saying, "Hey, I'm really sorry to bother you. I know this is ridiculous, but the law states you can't have more than one other household here. It's a lockdown. They've got to be in your support bubble. We've had reports that other people are here, and I'm just going to have a look around the property. Sorry to bother you. And then I'll be done. I'll be gone. Is it okay if I come in?" Not that at all. Instead, 10 police officers rode up in separate vehicles, gotta be COVID secure, to come to the property and then run rampant throughout the entire residency in order to ensure that nobody was hiding. I mean, surely, if you open the door and then you see a load of cardboard cutouts, at the start you think this is a bit Kafkaesque and a bit unsettling, and I'd rather not stay here. But nonetheless, they decided to search bathrooms, toilets, cupboards, and all that in order to ensure that there wasn't a guest hiding amongst the cardboard that shouldn't be there. And alas alack, they didn't find any, because they were abiding by the unnecessary COVID draconian laws. So then they left, all 10 of them. A couple of hours later, they came back in order to ensure that they hadn't missed anybody. And it was bloody ridiculous. But according to Steve, there were about 10 officers, he told the Daily Mail. He said they refused to believe the party was online only and proceeded to search for guests hidden in the building. They went to all the rooms in my offices like I was some criminal, he said. Someone must have called and said I was having a party because they saw trucks delivering lights and balloons and images. Can't do wrong for doing right. Sorry, Steve. They quickly understood that it was not attended in real life by people, but by 70 cardboard cutouts and Zoom people. I had an operator for lights, and he was behind a glass, had a mask, and was doing social distancing. He added, I went through unbelievable efforts to adhere to the rules. The police were surprised that there were no people there they could issue a fine to. And that is fantastic. However, they were apparently not fully convinced by his explanations because 2 officers returned later that evening to check the guests were really made of cardboard. Oh, good on you. I think we need more of this. He said, it was a little bit funny, but we had to take it seriously. They were very nice and realised there wasn't anything illegal. They bid us farewell, but it was a bit alarming. And I think that is the key point. That nobody wants to be searched by police. Nobody who is law-abiding and has followed the rules and has read up and is entirely sure and definite that they are doing exactly as the draconian government requires, they do not wish to be searched by the police. They do not wish for the police to turn up and just go, hey, so, we've had a report, so if we could have a look, that'd be great. Nobody wants that. I'm sure almost everybody here has had an interaction with the police. And I doubt anybody has thought, oh yay, I get to speak to the fuzz. Even if what you've been doing is completely legal and you have absolutely nothing to hide, they will find something. Because that is their job, after all, to detain criminals. And if they stop you, they want you to be a criminal. And so it may very well be a broken system that instead of thinking if they stop you they want to protect you, they're thinking that they want to detain you. But nonetheless, for the time being, that is the system of which we have inherited and have to make ends meet by abiding with, until a better solution is found and then implemented. But hey, that's it from me. So as always, let me know what you guys think down below. Do you think, well, you know, the police do have to investigate these things, seeing as it is a law on the books, they are required to follow the rules? Or if you think, no, I don't think so, considering just how many stabbings, shootings, acid attacks, moped uses, burglaries that are happening in London at any one time, the police resources could have been put to much better use at hundreds of other locations that night alone. And yet they targeted out this socialite. But you might think, hey, he deserved it, he's got a lot of money. Either way, let me know down below. Always intrigued to hear what you guys have to say. And as always, until next time, have a good one.